Hey there, everybody. Son of the morning here, and welcome back to my coffee table. We're going to do another indie comic review here today. On the docket right now is King of Nowhere by W. Maxwell Prince, and this is from Boom Studios. So before we start actually talking about the book here, I will say a few days ago I picked it up to read. It was very late at night. I read the first couple pages and I just didn't like it at all. That's just me being honest. At the time, I wasn't really a fan of the art. I wasn't getting into the story. I stopped after a couple pages. Not very fair on my part. So I've given it another chance. I read this one last night and I actually quite liked the story. So we'll get into it here. So basically, this is our main character of our story, and he's waking up. He thinks he's still in a dream. He has this issue where he has very strange dreams often, so he just thinks he's in a dream and he's just gonna go with it. Now, he is also talking to himself. There's a monologue throughout, and so basically he's lamenting how he always does this. He never ends up in his own bed. He always ends up in a park bench. Why can't his dreams be better? And then, he meets up with this guy who has a deer head, and he's funny. He asks him, "Are you a deer?" And then his response is that you must be new around here. He obviously is lost. And so he starts thinking to himself that the poison in his brain is doing its directional thing. I kind of like that little comment there. And like I said before, this isn't exactly my favorite kind of art style, but once I got into the story, it didn't bother me like it did at first. So I actually started to like it right around this part here. So we find out that the place where he is called North Waharic, but changed to Nowhere. This is what everybody is calling this place. And he wanders around. He thinks he's tripping out. That, of course, isn't helped when he walks into this sort of Mos Eisley Cantina type scene and goes up to the bartender whose head is upside down and asks him for a Canadian club. Hey, he just wants some whiskey. I'm a Canadian. We know that the best whiskey's made here. So, of course, that's what he wants. But he can't get it because he's obviously in a strange place. He even asks the guy why his head's upside down. I thought it was kind of funny. He remarks that maybe everybody else's head is on the wrong way. And so then he starts meeting some of the people in this place. Okay, and so he meets up with this guy named Jed, and I should have mentioned, the main character's name is Denis. Meets up with this guy Jed, who starts telling him all about his problems and how he is waiting to receive a good beating because there's a man with 8 arms that's coming for him. And like I said, the artwork in this book did start to grow on me, and I ended up by this point I'm starting to like it. So hey, you can't always just you can't just let a first impression dictate what you're gonna like and not like. Lesson learned. And so then in comes the guy with the many arms, or I guess he just has 6 arms, and he's looking for Jed. And of course he pretends like he's surprised to see him, but he's not. And, you know, things are gonna start happening here. They take him outside. They take Jed outside. Dennis isn't liking what he's seeing. Still thinking that he's in a dream. So they go outside. Jed takes his good beating. And then Dennis comes outside and he decides he's going to accost the six-armed man because he still thinks that he's in a dream. In that, he even mentions it in his internal monologue here that he's used to scuffles, scrapes, and Donnybrooks. Obviously, they aren't too pleased that he has stopped them from delivering the beating they were wanting to give. So then Dennis gets into a fight with this guy, manages to hold his own pretty well, at which point a sheriff of some sort, a cop, says, "Are you boys finished now?" And I really like this artwork on this page. I think this was done really well. And at this point, you can see Dennis talking to himself, the inner monologue. He's really wanting to wake up now. Unfortunately, he's not waking up. So the sheriff takes Dennis, basically says, you know, are you, can you handle yourself? Can you handle a gun? And he says, yes. This woman comes inside here and she says, I'm assuming she says, Dad, I'm assuming that she is the sheriff's daughter. The big guys are back down south. Now, what she is referring to is these giant slugs, or something to that effect. I think they were, no, iguanas, I apologize. Giant iguanas that, they're gonna have to take out. And here you see the giant iguanas. And Dennis, what am I supposed to do? He says. And then I like the comment he is making in the monologue there, that life is strange and full of weird expletive. Yeah, that's the truth. And he's just lamenting how he's managed to get himself caught up in this mess. But he proves himself to be a worthy ally for them here as he helps fight off these giant iguanas. And he's just, at this point, I think he's sort of resigned to the fact that this is no longer a dream, that this is real. Something strange has happened to him. He is now in this place called Nowhere. And they comment to him that you're gonna fit in just fine here. Welcome to Nowhere, Dennis. So then we have an interesting scene here at the end where this is the epilogue. We meet our dear fellow again, who we saw at the beginning of the book. And then there's this strange guy holding a nail gun or something like that. And he wants to know if Dear Man has seen Dennis. Shows him a picture of him, says that he can't say that he knows who it is, and then the guy responds, yes, of course, no one sees this man, and then he blows him away, so no more Dear Guy. And then just the response here, he is nobody, this guy's saying, Dennis is nobody, he's a dream. So, and then he walks off. I like this artwork here too, of the man walking off, leaving or heading towards Nowhere, saying nighty night. So it's definitely an interesting story. I liked where they went with it. Like I said, at first I wasn't liking this comic at all, but they really did manage to do a good job when I was reading it when I wasn't tired. The art style isn't my favorite, but it grew on me as I liked the story. Now, I'm definitely interested to see what's going to happen with Dennis moving forward. So I will definitely say this is one that I'm looking forward to reading issue number 2. So this has been The King of Nowhere by W. Maxwell Prince, Tyler Jenkins, and Hillary Jenkins from Boom Studios. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, get the notification bell so you can see when the new videos come out. Leave some comments at the bottom. Please be nice to each other if you're going to talk to each other down there. And if you want to visit me over on the Twitters, you can find me at sonofthemorning7. And thank you for joining me, and we will talk to you on the next video.